probably the contact person from the school, just to try and get the kids coordinated. The kids came out and did 20 minutes 3 times a week, and that was enough just. So that was really good to have them there, and then I just sort of oversaw whatever was going on there. I was just coordinator, walk around, give them ideas, but really they've done a lot of it themselves, which is really good. So part of the process was really that I just let the kids, gave them an idea and just let them go, and I was amazed. We had one group come up with a song, a horrible history song.
I know I started World War II, but all I wanted was to destroy you.
We had another group come up with a movie where they went out and filmed and put it all together, storyline, and used images.
Welcome to the WAF.
Not all women were allowed to work for the WAF. Ages between 20 and 30 were the ages that were applicable.
Another group have sort of based it on a fictional story of grandfather's diary being at the gift shop. We had another group that worked really well because there was one girl who I never would have suspected to be the leader. She just became boss man, and she was in charge of the filming, the script, and she coordinated everything, did a fantastic job, and it was not something I normally would have seen in the classroom from her. So yeah, so students, find yourself a bossy person that you know is going to give you the kick up the backside you need to make it by this deadline and get it done.
I was director and scriptwriter, bossy person. Well, basically our idea was to see how the war affected a family when one of their members went off to fight the war, and then in that case it was the husband and his fiancée and how they dealt with that. And yeah, we just made a movie about that. We wrote the script, and then that wasn't very long, it was really easy to do that, and then we went out to the Aviation Museum and filmed, and then we had to put it all together and get all the music, which was the most difficult part because computers are so frustrating.
It was focusing on the Women's Auxiliary Australian Air Force and the roles that they played during World War II. We filmed different movies with voiceovers and then put them together and put some photos and explanations at the front and the end. The process I went through was, with my group, we worked out what we were going to do and how we were going to do it, and then we worked out costumes, and then told Miss Lewis what we were doing, and then went out to the Aviation Museum and filmed the separate parts and then tied it all together at the end.
My grandfather trained at the Temora Aerodrome when it was a flight training school, so we basically did his story. One person finds a diary, and then it is rated as a voiceover while this person's going around the museum.
First we went out to the museum and filmed everything, like all the planes being pulled out and all that. Then we had to get another person in our group to edit all of the stuff and put it all together and do all the After Effects and stuff.
We also recorded a voiceover.
A lot of the other people were doing movies, and it was just such an ordinary thing to do because everybody was doing it, and coming up with a song sort of seemed different and a bit out there.
But some they never came, instead they died in pain from all the grenade blasts.
Well, first we had to decide what song backing track we had to do. It was actually a really quick decision for that one. It was straight away, it was just bam, got the song. I had to put it over the PowerPoint that I'd done, which also took me a bit of time to do. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of it.
So really creative kids, they really got into it, and it was really good to see them do not only just access the content, but use some of those 21st century learner skills like collaborating and persevering and, you know, leadership roles and just learning a whole new skill set.
People not being there and they were kind of slack. They'd come and they'd be disorganised, and you'd just be like, I asked you to, can you please do this? So dealing with the people was hard. We had plans. We wrote out timetables and when we were going to film everything and what days we were going to do everything, so that made it a lot easier. If people had that sheet, they knew what they were at least supposed to do.
First we had 3, but
when one of the team members up and left for personal reasons. It was sort of something going on between all of us. So she decided she left, and so we had to we just kept going on, and we sort of had to change everything, change a couple of things around to make it work.
We had group members leave, we had half a story done and then completely changed it. We had not being able to find information, like trouble with costumes, our things not going for long enough, running out of ideas, and then running out of time, not having everything together and not being able to find anything basically.
One of my challenges was making the script realistic, but also keeping a bit of interest in it, and also trying to make the time with it.
The best part, probably filming it, like actually going out and getting all dressed up and filming them, and even if they stuffed up and you'd had to do it again, it was all the experience. It was so good.
The best part for me was actually learning more about it, because the WAF isn't something you learn that much about, and it was good to learn more about it. Plus the filming was really fun and getting to dress up and all that.
The best part would have been finishing. When it was finished, that was the happiest moment ever in the whole of doing it. I was so happy when we got it done.
Probably filming or putting it all together, because all our hard work finally paid off in the end.
Well, the best part for me was actually going around the Aviation Museum, because I've never actually been out there. So it was a pretty good experience to go and see everything that was out there.
At first, when they were doing this project, I found it really hard to let go of we were going to study World War II, and I thought, but they won't get this done and they won't know about this, but they've actually learned something that they've sort of found something they're interested in, like the kids, the girls going off and doing the WAF. We wouldn't have covered that in any detail in class, and they loved it. They loved finding out about what women were doing, and they really explored that. So they've learned things that I wouldn't have focused on, but it was a real interest of theirs, and that's really how the new curriculum's going. We try to encourage the kids to formulate their own questions and answer them, and be a little bit resourceful and find their own information.
From this activity, I probably learnt that war was a really hard thing for families, because you learn about it in school, but you don't really see it from the family's perspective. It's more factual than emotional, I guess. Mm-hmm. The experience really makes you connect with the whole time. I learnt that working in a group is hard. It's really hard, but you have to do what you have to do.
All the roles that the WAF did, and that they were a very important part in World War II.
What I learnt was that it takes a long time to actually put everything together and edit everything. Had a little bit of trouble trying to do that, but we got it done, so it's rewarding in the end.
Go for it. It's really fun. It is worth it in the end, even if some of your actresses get their words wrong. But it's fun. It is.
Plan well. When you do it, make sure you have an ID, make sure you can work out costumes, make sure it's something that you know a little bit about to start off with, or you have some good resources, and just make sure everyone works as a team, and some people don't do other stuff without everyone else knowing.
Don't go for the cliched war documentary. Go for something a bit different, like one person story or that sort of thing. Make it a bit interesting.
Had a good time doing it. Got to go and experience things I haven't done before.
Definitely don't hold back, because it was a really good experience.
Some extra advice to teachers would be to make sure that you just have a person that the kids can call on that's not always you. So if you could have somebody that's really familiar with the Audacity software, for example, and then somebody that's familiar with movie making software, and then someone that's just going to be in charge of making sure the cameras are charged, or just little technical things like that, or the costume cupboard from the drama teacher. If you could just get a few little people on board like that, just so that the kids are going in different directions and they're not always wanting something from you, that makes it a little bit easier too. The kids are very resourceful and they'll work it out themselves. They need to understand they're going to have to do some work at home in the final editing process, but just having a go-to person if you're not really comfortable is a really good idea, and they managed really well with that. Probably my main role was to say, you have this many periods to work on this, and you need to make sure that you have something planned for each of those little sections. So if you're doing costumes, you do it then. You have it sorted, you collect them by this date, then you do this, then you do that. So really just breaking it down and making sure that they plan their time well and we're ready to go. My advice for teachers would be, don't think that it's going to be too hard. It actually wasn't too taxing, and the kids really came up with something amazing. So give it a go, and after a few sessions, if you think, no, it's not going to work, then fair enough. But I was really amazed at how I had 4 separate groups going from the whole year group, and they just pulled it together. They were so independent. So my advice would be to let them go. The keen ones will stand out, and they really will just forge ahead and do amazing things. Like, I was pretty impressed with some of the work they did. It was very exciting to see the videos.